For the listener's discretion, this podcast contains strong language and adult themes that may not be suitable for children. These are not the views of the radio station or its affiliates.
Can we stop the arguing? Can we take a moment where we can calm down? It's just so exhausting. Swinging in the wind, going round and round. I know that we won't say sorry. You beg and I plead, but my heart can't beat until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations. I know that we won't say sorry until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations, baby. I see me addressing you. Let me put the smile right onto your face, tracing every inch of you. Using my tongue to find your happy place. I know that we can't play naughty. You beg and I plead, and you pull my heartstrings until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations. I know that we won't say sorry until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations, baby. Until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations. I know that we won't say sorry until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm looking at coupons. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, out of all the things that you could have said, that was not the one that I was expecting.
Well, see, you gotta understand that's the sign of that. That's when you know you moved into the right neighborhood. When you get coupons.
Doesn't everyone get coupons?
No. You live in the wrong neighborhood. We ain't giving you coupons. No, we.
Look, I lived in the hood. We got coupons. Now, I'll be clear. They went in the mailbox for everybody.
Okay. See, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Right.
Like they were just dropped there.
Uh,
I'll be clear on that. They were just dropped there. Now, you had to fend for yourself and get there.
No. Sally, ladies and gentlemen, Sally is into the building.
Sally. Hey, we have some people in. Look at everybody here. Hello. You know, this is my time. This is my romper room time.
I was going to say, it's starting to look like romper room. Somebody give me a mirror.
When we look through our mirror and we get to say hello to everyone, because we know they never said my name. So this is the time of the night that I enjoy like most. We get to say hello to everyone. And I enjoy that. Hello. So if you're watching from wherever you're watching from, if you're watching from Twitter, if you're watching from YouTube, if you're watching from Twitch, if you're watching from Facebook, if you're watching from Instagram, wherever you're watching from, whatever social media you're watching from, one, click follow, click subscribe, click friend, whatever it is that you need to click that. Do that first. And then say hello. Say hello to somebody. Make a friend out there. Make a friend for sure.
Say hello.
Say hello. Say hello. We got all friendly people here. Trust me, all of our viewers are definitely friendly. Definitely friendly. We like that about ourselves, and we appreciate you being here. So, we used to do the "What's in your cup," which we know why I always had to have an adult sippy cup, but
no comments. We will leave that alone.
But I have my big cup
But
there.
that's all right. That's all right. See, I
I have
got
my big
mine.
cup there.
I got mine.
So
Got mine right here.
I had a letter here that I wanted to show you guys because we were talking about, or we were going to talk about voter registration last time. I don't know what I did with it, and it was so funny. I just got in the mail this letter. I really don't know what I did with it. Um, that said, it says something like, "It is apparent that you are not registered yet." I didn't like the verbiage of it, as if someone snitched. I didn't like the verbiage of it. Good evening. Hey, cousin Lori from Michigan. Hey, hey. I see. I can. You guys. I can see Lori down there in our virtual waiting room, and she gave a little clap like that. So she is pleased about that. Jody said, "Hey, everyone." I didn't like the verbiage of it, as if someone snitched on me that I had not registered to vote yet. And then, but it did give the information that October 18th is that date. So you guys, don't forget to register to vote. Sisterhood Extravaganza, they're going to be doing a brunch, a voters brunch and everything. I think it is on the 20th or the 22nd. Go over to sisterhoodextravaganza.org. Um, Catherine, if you could put that website in the comments for people, sisterhoodextravaganza.org, for people to click on and go over to that site so that they can look that up on their events. Hopefully, the link is on there. If not, just go to the website and continue to look, because I'm sure it will be over there sooner or later. But they will be doing something for you to have. They're going to have a brunch because we want everyone to get out and register to vote. Right? This stuff is so freaking important. It's important all the time, but it is
Yeah. Yeah.
so crucial right now because there's so many of your rights that, that they're playing with right now, you guys. There's so many of them
Man, when they
that
start talking about it, we went back to 18 something and pulled the law out. I'm sitting there
baby,
saying to myself, okay, see, if
yes,
you,
that's
like
there.
we don't have enough laws, you had to go back.
Way back.
It's not like the beginning of a John, what is it, Jimmy
Yes,
Castor, way back,
way back.
troglodytes, like
Yes.
really, really,
And people, there's so many laws that are already sitting there that are ancient that you have no clue about, that they can go back and pull on your ass, that is just ridiculous. That you think, oh, it doesn't matter. It does matter. It does matter. It really, really does. And you're going to find out how much it matters real soon. You're really going to find out how much it does matter. And your local constituents, it's so important that you go and sit there and find out what they're doing. It's so important that you take the time. Tara says this is insanity. Please vote. Absolutely, and don't believe that. Oh, it doesn't matter. It does matter.
it does matter. Each vote matters because when the losers lose, the first thing they want to do is go back for a recount. Well, if
Yeah,
there's nothing there for them to recount, then we don't have a leg to stand on.
yeah,
Please go out and vote. If there's anything in your head that says don't vote, you go on Google and YouTube and WeTube and everything else. Go back on YouTube and find when women were fighting for the right to vote. Women, American citizens, had to
yeah,
fight for the right to vote. Then brown people had to fight for the right to vote. These people lost their lives, some of them, so that we could have the right to vote.
absolutely. And I've been involved with politics since I was yay high to a grasshopper. And once I became an adult and began working the polls myself, and you make a little money. You make a little money. It's a long day, and from there moved on to doing absentee ballots myself. And so when you go out with absentee ballots, and this is when I lived in Indiana, and they send a Democrat and a Republican out. Both had to be present, and we would go out to mostly the elderly, sick and shut in, disabled, whatever it may be. And sometimes it's not just that. We would go to their homes, to the nursing homes, and various different places, and the people would cast their ballots. You take it. You cannot sway them because especially the elderly. Well, what do you think, baby, or whatever, or whatnot. Nope. You know, they have to do it themselves, and some of them sign with an X and different things like that. Um, and they seal it, and you take it back, and then from there, moved on to I forget what they call it, but then when provisional voting, and then when you have the ones that like when they had in the election, and you say, oh, look at these signatures, it doesn't match, and you have to decide, does this vote count or doesn't it? Involved in that. And then in Indiana, it was called the fishbowl because it was this huge court where all glass, and then you have all these cameras and stuff come down, and they're watching you. I was a sworn in judge for those proceedings where you have all these ballots, and now you have to decide which ballots are good and which ones aren't. Like you go through all these proceedings with all of it. Very legit, very much so legit because it's important now. Now you're deciding like in presidential votes and whatever, which ballots count and which ones don't. All this shit is legit. You know what I'm saying? You have people bringing their IDs in, and you have all these reasonings and whatnot when you're deciding.
Well,
So, go ahead.
it's no, it's interesting that you would say it's very legit. A lot of people don't understand just how legit it is.
Yeah.
The government, the government created the Falstead Act that said that you could not have alcohol. Once a certain family got involved in alcohol and it was found out, then all of a sudden it became legal to have alcohol because it was a vote. Now, you go out for some strange reason and you're charged with a felony. The two things they take away from you are your right to carry a weapon and your right to vote.
Yeah.
Now, you turn around and you have done your time, you have paid your bill, and they say to you, you have paid your debt to society. Well, sports fans, you paid your debt to society, but that don't mean nothing because we're not giving you back the right to carry a gun, and we're not giving you the right to vote. Now, I'm sorry. Okay, that's how important it is. The two things, that's on the list of things that they keep and they make you fight for after you've allegedly paid your debt to society. So,
Right.
no, the vote is that important. Please, people, get out, vote, get on your computer, get off of TikTok, get off of all that other stuff for 10, 15, 20 minutes to do what you have to do, your due diligence to cast your vote, to register, to cast your vote. That's it.
Let me see. I'm going to try and pull up the site here. Continue talking.
No, the people, that's it. They want to take your rights away. They've already taken, and I've said this ever since it happened, they have taken away a woman's right to have or not have, to decide what they want to do with their body. Now, for men, I'm going to tell you something. That may not, yeah, okay, fine, that's good, whatever. Let me explain something to you. They went after their rights. So now, what's to say they're not going to walk down, go up there on the hill and vote? Hey, we are now going to institute that we are going to make it mandatory for men not to be able to produce. Okay, now tell me what you are going to feel like when you are sitting there in the chair, and I'm going to paint the picture for you. I'm sorry. All right. With your legs up in the stirrups, and they talking about don't worry about it. It's only going to take a minute. It's going to take one snip. And then you don't have to worry about ever having it. No, they took that choice away from you. You cannot allow that. And that's what voting does. It makes them think twice. Like, wait a minute, we got people out here that are serious against the choices we are making. Who nobody gave them the right to throw a bunch of people on a bus and send them to another state. That didn't have a vote. So when you are that bold that you feel that you can, hey, let me get my friends together who have private jets and have them shuttle these people to this new state. Whoa, wait a minute. Why? Why? Because we can't. No, if it's voted on, you can't. And that's what stops the nonsense, the vote. I'm done. Church is over. I mean,
so you can go on to my.arizona.vote and find out where to vote. Let me share this screen right quick.
I was just alerted that, but I'm sure our guests will speak on it more. Burning Bush Church is a voters registration site, and they have registered people to vote. Church, y'all. This is where the fight started. It started in churches. We're going back to the basics.
Well, right here, you can go Arizona Voter Information Portal and find out information on where you can go to vote. You can find out candidate portal, Arizona Equal, Uniformed or Overseas Citizen Portal. You can find out all various types of information in reference to voting. So now you go to your voting location and they tell you, oh, that's not the correct information. You need to be able to find out that information on your own. Don't just take that person's word. Don't do that. Don't do that and just be turned away. You need to be able to get some information for yourself, okay? Because you don't want to lose your right to vote. That's been a problem in the past. That's been a problem. So go verify that before you go. Go verify it, like a week before or days before or whatever, and get that information verified so that before you go stand in that long line, find out for sure, because that does change from time to time. And I think there's a certain amount of days or like something like that when you go to register before it kicks in. Like there's some definite information. So go and find out. Like if you moved, there's a certain amount of days or something. There's particular information that you have to have when you change locations where you move before you can go and vote in that area. Go find that information out. Go to your local library. Go find out the information. It is there. The information is there. Go find out. If you can get on TikTok and if you can scroll through Facebook and all those things for all those hours, go and find out the actual information, people. Go do it. Go and get your education and become informed about it. Let's see.
Yeah, I think there's also a place, motor vehicles, on the motor vehicle site.
Yeah.
Where you can do it too.
Lorrie says, hey, family and friends, thank you so much for coming on. She is so appreciative for you guys for taking time. Don't worry, her time is coming up in minutes, honey. Minutes. She is down there smiling. She is down there smiling. Yes. She knows you are here and waiting for her. Oh, yes. Hey, sissy. Yes, they are here and waiting on you.
Yeah, they are. It look like an ambush. I mean, ooh, Lord. Folks hiding behind anonymous names and whatnot. You know, I'm looking at the bottom of the screen going, okay, who that? I don't know. Who that? I don't know. Who that? I don't know. It's like, So should we be playing like some kind of like you're into the world of sight and sound?
Oh, here he goes.
Here he goes. I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking for a friend, you know.
That's okay. Look, they're excited that their lady is here, their family is here, and she's coming with the good stuff to tell her story, and we're going to be excited about it and whatnot. Look, I'm excited about it. She's got some good information. She has a miraculous story to talk to us about and some good things going on. Wait, I'm looking in here. Burning Bush. Did you want me to give this information now, Laura? You want to wait until you come on what I'm seeing over in the private chat? Just nod your head. You want me to give this information now? Yes. Okay.
You late. I had already done it. Yes, I did it. I said, wow. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when your host, does not hear what
that's what you were doing when I was over there researching. Okay.
You said continue to talk to the people. So
Okay,
I was talking to the people. Wow. Tuned me out and didn't even blink. That's cold blooded right
that's
there.
fine. That's
That's
fine.
cold blooded.
Good job,
What?
Chris. Good
No, but that's all
job.
right. You know what? It was so important for us to say it. Let's say it again. You can go to Burning Bush Church because it is a voters registration site, and we have registered people to vote. Now I don't know if y'all heard that, but we'll say it about 40 more times before the show is over.
Look, there it is right there. How about that? Look, there it is on the screen. There
Look
it
at
is.
that. Look
Look
at
at
that.
there. Look at
And you know
there.
what I noticed though? I noticed something going on with our guests because she got like that Cosby turnout. You understand? People have turned off their TVs. They sitting in front of the screen. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's 8 o'clock
Well, look,
Thursday. You know what
hey,
I'm saying?
it's 7:21. So look, we're getting ready to bring her on, guys. Let's welcome Miss Lorrie Denson. Come on in here with us. There she is. Here she is. Without further ado.
Hello,
Without
hello,
further ado.
hello.
Thank you so much
My
for being
my
patient.
circle is just amazing. My family and friends, they love me. So
We
they're here to
appreciate it.
support.
We
Amen.
appreciate it. So now our first question to every guest, every honoree that we have on here, the first thing that we want to know is how does it feel? How does it feel to have your story featured in Empowered magazine?
I felt overwhelmed. I felt unworthy. I mean, my story to me wasn't anything so special, but God has a way of putting people in your path. The lady who nominated me, I only met her once, and it was 4 or 5 years ago, and didn't even realize the connection that we made, and that she would even remember me enough to want to nominate me for this, Empowered magazine, this prestigious award. And so I was very overwhelmed. I was humbled, especially when I went to, they had a meet and greet down in San Diego, and we were unveiled. It was unveiled. Dr. Melinda, she was featured on the magazine, and so she was introduced, and that was a surprise for her. But all of them
Her
got,
right
and
there.
they had these, yes, yes, yes. I got mine too.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them had these awesome stories, and they were introducing themselves, and I was like, oh man, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. So I was like, what am I going to say when I get up there? But your story is still history. So it worked out. It worked out. But I was humbled and overwhelmed. Just thankful.
Well, you know what? It had to be some type of one-time meeting for it to have stuck with Rosalind, because I know Rosalind,
Okay. Okay.
and and Rosalind ain't no joke, honey.
No,
And
she's not.
right, and it had to have been something for her
Yes.
to have really remembered you, and for her to have, thought this woman, wow,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm grateful. I
So,
am truly
so
grateful.
kudos and
Yeah. Thank
congratulations.
you.
And,
Thank you.
Congratulations.
for
Yes.
those who have not seen it, there she is in all her glory. You have yours. Hold yours up too.
I
Now,
do. I
no,
have to find the page, but I do
it is
have
page
it.
2029.
You
29.
know what? You know it's page right. I was gonna say, it's page 29. Don't act like you don't know. Okay. It's the
That's
one with the
right.
little pink sticky thing on it. Don't play. Don't
That's
play.
right.
Don't
Beautiful.
play. Don't
Yes,
play.
yes. That's right.
Well, it's nice
Absolutely
meeting you
beautiful.
both. I've met some wonderful people through this, and you two are included. So it's great
Well,
to meet
thank
you.
you.
Absolutely lovely. And so
Oh, thank
now,
you, Miss Sally. She put on our website, our Burning Bush Church website.
Sally is our director of research,
Thank you, Sally.
and as we say, we believe this is just my own. You know how I like. We had our little. You were on here early, and
Mhm.
I just pull stuff out the air. I believe Sally worked for the CIA and FBI.
She got all the juice, huh?
I
Look,
gave I sent Sally some information and some links, and she said, "Don't worry, I already have my links." I said, "Okay,
Oh, wow.
Sally." I
All
said,
right.
"Okay,"
All
and
right.
that's Sally. Sally, she had
Okay.
her own things exactly.
y'all
I
gotta
don't.
leave Sally alone. I just like it's like I think she's a fugitive from the Jeopardy show. It's like you know, that was the wrong answer. Here's the right answer.
I don't even know how Sally knew you were on the show today, but okay.
I don't know either. But
Well, when you got contacts in them 3-letter organizations that you mentioned,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
And I didn't ask Sally. I just said, I love you, Sally. Okay. So here Sally is, and she just, Sally does what Sally does, and I
yeah,
love
but
her,
she's
and we appreciate
appreciative.
her.
Yeah, she's got
Exactly.
all my business out there.
And this is why we do ask: is there anything that you don't want?
Because Sally will find it.
Oh yeah, Sally got like a big shop vac that she just. We'll sort it out after we get it.
Right. Exactly. So we have to just make sure. Okay. She said,
Oh,
that's my mama.
That's my baby.
Oh, look at there. Yes, we love that.
And he was like, Mom, you're gonna be on tonight at 7, so I have to choose between you and Bible study. So I guess I won. Thank you, Michael.
That's right. Because the Lord said this is where you came from, honey. So you got that right.
You gotta pass this night, son. You gotta pass this night. That's all. That's it.
You chose right. You chose right.
That's it.
We want to definitely. Lorrie has been always been a humble person.
That's my friend Sandra.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I want to definitely get through all these so you can see everyone is here that is definitely showing you so much
I'm
love.
telling you, there's people that's not watching Cosby tonight. They just oh, I'm sorry, wrong day.
I know, and she stuck a hat on her head for a moment before the show too, and I'm thinking, let that hair flow, honey, let it flow, let it flow. So now, when we were talking earlier, okay, a COVID ambassador.
Yes.
What exactly is a COVID ambassador?
All right. A COVID ambassador is a person who, in my case, because I started off, my husband said, okay, so we're in COVID. There's a lot going on. Everybody's scared. Nobody knows what's happening. And we had the opportunity to have a testing site. And so he asked me, would I run it? And he kind of tells you you're going to do it. He don't really ask, but so I was going to run it. And so through that, I became a COVID ambassador. We had a Dr. Adinkra from Charles Drew Health and Medical University in LA, who wanted to start a study. He wanted to make sure the senior citizens were not forgotten during COVID, that it wasn't just they were being seen if they had COVID, but their other health needs weren't neglected. So what we did was I put together a small team, and we had about 5 to 10 senior citizens that we would call, and we would check on them. Did you get your eye exam? Have you had your mammogram? Have you had your prostate? Have you had all of these different things? And we had a relationship with them. So because we had a relationship, they didn't mind talking to us, and we were able to advocate for them and get them the services that they needed during that time when, doctors were scared to come in the office. They didn't want you coming in the office. And so we were able to hook them up with whatever they needed during those COVID years. And we still check on them now, even though the program is over, we still check on them. We still have that relationship that we can say, did you go to your podiatrist? Did you get your medicine? Did you, that kind of thing. So a COVID ambassador is just simply one who was out there. I was giving facts and stats about COVID, I hosted with my husband and the church. We hosted over a dozen vaccination pop-ups. We did the COVID testing for over a year, from February 2021 to June of 2022. And we gave out free COVID over-the-counter tests, free sanitizer, gloves, masks, whatever we get our hands on, we gave to the people because we wanted them to be safe.
Right.
And my husband and I, we initially got the vaccination, not because we wanted and we were so sure. We got it because we wanted to continue ministering to the people. We wanted to be able to be around them and not cause them any harm. So it was a selfless decision to get it, because I wasn't sure. I have some pre-existing conditions and I wasn't real sure about that vaccination, but prayed about it, got the facts from my doctor and others, and we decided it because he still wanted to be able to go to church and preach and pray and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's what we did. That's what we've been doing for the last 2 going into 3 years, being COVID ambassadors.
Okay. So now, and are you doing it? Did you do it only there in California for your church, or did you kind of move around, or is this something that's offered in other states, or
I don't know if it's offered in other states. I would say that it is, and here's the reason why. I started off with Charles Drew, and I was doing it just at my church, and then IEHP came up with grants, and they were asking you to be a COVID ambassador. So now I can take my little booth to other like events, fairs, other churches, the mall, the grocery store, wherever people may listen, and give them some factual information, because people, our people especially, were getting all their information from social media. And you know that is not a credible source to get all your information. So we had virtual webinars with Black and brown physicians to talk to you about what it is and what it does and why you need it and that kind of thing. So I just try to keep the facts out there. But yes, now I can do it other places outside of my church. And like I said, I'm assuming that you can also in other states, because IEHP, goes across the country. It's not just, for California.
okay? Well, that's a great resource. I didn't know
Yeah.
that was being offered for, especially for our seniors.
Yes.
Because they couldn't get out. They were one of the highest populations that were, being affected by this. And
Right.
that was beautiful. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
And they trust the church. Most of our seniors, a lot of them moved here. We're up in the high desert, so they moved away from the big city, away from LA to retire. Some of their children don't live here, so they're here by themselves. So you want to make
Right.
sure that they're okay, and they trust the information coming from the church because they know it's to help them and not to hurt them. So
And unfortunately, a lot of the churches still didn't have information to give them themselves, but you all did.
yeah.
That
Well, and
was
it was hard to get churches to partner with me. I was calling pastors and
really
pastors' wives, saying we're having this, we're having that. But some of them just didn't want to, they just didn't want to deal with it. They didn't want to deal with offering testing or offering vaccinations.
was it
Um,
fear?
I think it was fear, because some of them same ones came to us and they came regularly to be tested, and they came and also got their vaccinations, but they didn't want to do it at their site.
I mean, this COVID thing, because it's so unknown and it was moving in all types of weird ways.
It was, it
And then,
was, it was scary. But we have been so blessed. We have a congregation about 300 or so, and out of that, and I don't minimize or belittle this number, but we only had one person who passed away from COVID, and that was it's hard. He was a wonderful man and we loved him dearly. So that hurt. But
right.
it could have been so many more when we had over 1 million people who
Absolutely.
died, and a lot in the high desert, and only lost one. And I think it was because of God making us so diligent about getting the information out there and about keeping people safe. And we closed shop. We didn't have church for well over a year. We would
Hmm.
do live broadcasts, but we would not come face to face in person because we wanted to make sure that it was safe. And we
Right.
got ridiculed because of that by some other churches. You ain't going to church, you know. But we did what we did, and we stood behind what we did, and we're the better for it.
Yeah. Well, kudos again. Kudos again that you made some hard decisions
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stood on it.
and
Stood on
stood
it.
on those hard,
Right.
right, stood on those hard decisions.
Yes.
And when you're interacting with, it's very easy for people to sit there and say, well, you lost one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well now, okay, you lost one, but now let's look at the thousands that we didn't lose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so people will go for the negative quicker than for the positive.
Mm-hmm.
And I commend your decision and your family's decision to get vaccinated so that you could maintain that quote unquote contact with the people, because that's a very scary thing, especially with the people the demographic that you were dealing with at that time. Okay, they are of the age to remember the dreaded Tuskegee experiment.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Very
We
good.
talked about that too.
Mhm.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They are that when I was talking to people,
Mm-hmm.
that was the most prevalent. Well, son, do you know about the Tuskegee square? Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yes, I do. Really, because well,
Yes.
they did this to us, and they yes. I'm not disputing that, but what I am saying is this: here and now, this is what we need to do to protect you,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
and
And
that's the hardest fight.
yes, it is. And mind you, the one that we lost, it was before the vaccination was even available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like our whole family, we caught COVID in November of 2021. And it was it 2021 or 2020? 2021? We
Well, wait a
had,
minute. Was that COVID? I mean, because that same thing happened. I heard
yeah.
that somebody else say that. Was that COVID or was that Aunt Alma's potato salad in that big green Tupperware bowl? Okay. I mean, I just need to know because you know it's
Salmonella, huh?
right. It's kind of suspect. All y'all got it.
It was COVID.
All y'all got it. Everybody who's at the family reunion and ate Aunt Alma's
Everybody
potato
in that
salad.
house, they
All
got
right.
it. Everybody. Yes. And as soon as we were able to the following year, so that was 2020 to 2021, we all got vaccinated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to make light of it, but
Oh,
you have
no,
to jump
I know.
in. You have to, you know, we have to look at the journey we have come on as a people.
Yes.
And for you to come from where you've come from, to be an advocate for others, and then to turn around and continue that advocacy through the other things that you are doing.
Yes. Yes.
I applaud that.
Yeah. I mean, and see, one thing that I'm not embarrassed to say, I have sarcoidosis, and it's an autoimmune disease,
Yeah.
and it's in my lungs. And so I was very much afraid when I got COVID because all I saw on TV was people dying because it attacked your pulmonary, you know, and I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
But I tell you, it was a lot of prayer. It was a lot of Psalm 91. He who dwells in secret place of the Most High. Oh, yeah, I was saying it. And it was a lot of, I was in a good place, a healthy place, because I had been exercising. I was taking all of my supplements, all of my vitamins and things like that. And I believe all of that, I was prepared to fight the fight,
Yeah.
you know, and it is a fight. It is a fight. But that little booger is slippery because it will still bring things up later. Like
Absolutely.
in January of the following year, then I got a blood clot. And all the doctors that I've spoken to, I had 3 different doctors, and all of them said it was because of COVID.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there was no other reason for it. So it's not always that onset, but it's afterwards. What happens
Right.
to you
Yeah.
afterwards?
Right.
You
And
know?
people are still suffering from with the blood clots. And
Yes,
my
yes.
husband and I actually got COVID same time, November of 2021, actually. And
Okay.
we both almost died. I presented to the ER at 30% oxygen rate.
Oh my Lord, yes.
Yeah, and I have MS and lupus, and they didn't expect for me to survive at all.
You're a
And
miracle, yeah.
oh, by all means.
Yes, yes.
And we got out. I was on oxygen, and I ended up with a cyst on my brain. I couldn't walk, couldn't talk. And then when they released us, the next day he had a heart attack.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, and went back in. And
Mhm,
so,
mhm.
but then after that, the blood clots.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the doctor said, you know, how I couldn't fly, and you know, and they're shooting you in the stomach with all this for the blood clots, and
Right.
so, and I tell people still to this day, I'm like, take the aspirin because they aren't telling people about
Yes,
the blood.
yes.
They aren't telling people about the blood clots, the long term effect of the
Yes.
blood clots.
Yes.
And people are still dropping dead today from the
That's
blood
wisdom,
clots.
y'all. Listen, take your aspirin every day. Yes.
If you've had COVID, you need to take the low dose aspirin because the blood clots, they aren't telling the people about the blood
Yeah.
clots.
I take mine. I do.
Yeah, I do, because we're seeing people drop from those blood clots nowadays because they aren't telling people about it. And
Yes.
it's just so important, so important. Now, the mental health,
Oh.
let's get into
See,
that.
y'all playing. Y'all playing. Okay. let me be
You
real
got the
about this.
aspirin?
Yeah, I got the baby aspirin. Okay,
That's what you need, a baby aspirin.
A baby aspirin. Okay,
Yes, every day.
Every day.
That
Yes.
no dose right there.
Let's say aspirin a day keeps the heart attack away.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
And the thing people don't understand. I'm just gonna throw this back into the church for a second. Okay, we have to learn from each other. And see, I was telling people all through COVID, okay, Proverbs 27:17, that's all you need to know. Keep your mouth shut and just do what you're supposed to do. Right. Chris, hold it, dude. You about as big a hood rat as we are. How you know about it? Look, iron sharpens iron.
That's right.
And that's all I'm going to say. Get a book, read it, understand it. And if you go in that direction from the person such as yourself and your husband and your ministry, and you go in that direction, this is where they're going. They've always showed us the path. So now all we have to do is let that piece of iron sharpen us so that we can sharpen the next one. No, we don't want to do it. So that's where the problems come in at. That's where the problems come in at. What were we talking about earlier? Okay, Harriet wore a hat. Don't play. Remember we were on before the show. Harriet wore a hat. We followed her. That's real. That is real. Yeah.
But in all seriousness, and just to interject there, if you all watched our show, 2 shows ago with Doretta on here, Doretta Thomas, who talks for insurance, and she was telling you guys that the insurance companies are now, once you have COVID, they are wanting to insure you. Okay, look,
I'm not surprised. Yeah,
these blood clots are serious with COVID. They're serious. And if you, at least within entertainment, because for you all that know, Chris is a photographer and videographer. I am a celebrity makeup artist and hairstylist. And there are multiple people who we have lost within the last 60 days. Young people who have just dropped from blood clots.
From blood clots.
They've been dropping, and that's what I've been trying to share to our young people at church. Just because you're young don't mean that you can't get COVID, and doesn't mean that you can't die from COVID.
And this is after having COVID. This is after having COVID.
This after having it, people are not understanding the effects of COVID. Look at COVID as your roof leaked. It went down behind the wall. You didn't see it. It has now created some kind of mold behind the wall that you still can't see, but it is affecting you. The same exact thing with COVID. You cannot tell me COVID's not having an effect. It's just a matter of where, when, how.
We just had a webinar. And it was on post-COVID, long-term effects, because people weren't aware of that. And it's like what we're talking about now. They weren't aware of it. They thought, oh, wow. So you mean a month later, me feeling tired or me not being able to hear or me not being able to breathe, that was from COVID 6 months ago? Yes, it was. And like you said, there's been young people who have just dropped dead on the college campus, and it was because of post-COVID.
Because you can't breathe.
People are now just taking home tests and not going to the doctor, not going to ER at all, and no one's telling them anything. People, look, share with your friends, share with your loved ones. Please get on this low dose aspirin. Please. This isn't like, your old auntie whatever. This is your auntie that's cooler than hell telling you. Okay.
That's right.
Cooler than a fan.
That's at least you can do. Yes.
Take your low dose aspirin every day. If you skip it one day, take it the next. I'm telling you, please.
I'm getting ready to send it out as birthday gifts.
Hey.
For real.
I'm getting ready to say, hey man, here's what I got you for your birthday. Because this is real.
It's a gift of life.
You won't feel it. You won't feel like anything's going on, whatever, most of the time. Like, this shit is a silent killer. For real. And it's thickening your blood, these clots, like, this shit is for real. Okay.
Yes.
So on to the next. On to the next. Okay. We said it's out there, but it's for real. It's serious. Okay. Mental health. Go ahead.
Ooh, mental health.
Okay, I'm gonna leave y'all now. See,
You probably need this one too.
that's why I'm leaving. Okay.
He literally left.
Bring your butt back here.
Mental health is serious.
I know it's serious. I know. Look, I'm living proof of mental health. But y'all want to sit up there and talk about me to my face. I'm gonna leave.
Press pause right quick, because let me put this comment back up here, because this is also real. People are going to work with COVID and not saying anything.
That's true.
Because they've taken away the benefits. People are flying with it also.
Yes,
because all these things have been taken away, and people cannot afford
employers aren't giving you time off anymore.
Exactly.
So if you get sick with COVID, okay, you can have your 5 days if you've been vaccinated, but you're not going to get paid for it anymore.
No.
So they're making it difficult for people to stay home.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's sad. And one of the things I hate is that we don't have testing anymore. And we had people who came every week. We did it twice a week. Every week they came to be tested. Now those people aren't getting tested because it was super easy to drive by. We had a drive-through. Took your little test. You got your results back in 48 hours. Now you have to go on My Turn and got to make an appointment, and people ain't doing it.
Well, I keep my COVID card with me because I never know. Like Moni said, we're in the entertainment industry, so we never know when somebody's gonna say, "Come," and we gotta hop on a jet or something and go wherever we gonna go. Now, there it is, sports fans. I don't know if you can see it.
I got mine too. It's in my wallet on my iPhone.
Right.
But still have to get tested because you can still have.
Oh no! But see, that's what I'm saying. I've got a test record.
Oh, okay.
Of mine. Right. That goes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I have an ongoing test record.
That's nice. I don't have one of those.
Yeah. Because with my ongoing test record, now they can do the same thing. Oh, yeah. Well, that shot was 3 years ago. Now, here's my test record. I got tested. You called me on Monday. Mm-hmm. I was tested Monday night. Yeah, so that you have the records.
But which test? Because putting the test show. And then, since I've had COVID, I can do a false positive for up to a year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why they have me do 3 different tests.
Wow.
They have me do 3 different tests within 8 hours of each other. So that, and they're not the same test. I've never done a home test. All 3 tests I've done have been at physicians' offices using different. Right.
Yeah.
But that's a different story. But the idea is the resources are out there for you. I guess is what I'm saying. If you want to protect yourself,
depending on the budget.
Yeah, I just put an announcement in there. Our next vaccination pop-up is October 30th, 2 to 6 p.m.
They didn't hear you say it again.
Our next vaccination pop-up is October 30th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the church, and it's free.
Oh, yeah. See, we need to put that on the bottom of the screen. Yeah. Just put free in front of it. And then it'll get their attention. And
well, you good. We're actually having a carnival that day for the kids. So you come, it's trunk or treat and all that stuff. And that's from 3 to 7. So you want to come out and have fun and bring your kids. Yeah.
That's a lot of gas.
And back to mental health. I am so sorry. We kept getting sidetracked.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm a commissioner on the San Bernardino County Behavioral Health Board, and that is another thing that someone recommended me for that I had never thought about. Mental health. It's not a paid position, but it is paid because I've gained so much knowledge, and we grew up. If you any color, you grew up, keep your business to yourself. Quit acting crazy. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Go on over there. Act like you got some sense.
Sit down.
You ain't hurt.
You ain't hurt. But mental, I had this conference today, and it was a virtual conference, and it was the difference between mental health and mental illness. And I was like, whoa, I never thought about them two. Okay. Being different. We kind of put them the same because we just thought somebody was, crazy. But I have learned so much, and it gives me the ability to talk to the community and ask them what needs they have. for mental health services, for behavioral health services. And I take this information back to the board of supervisors and say, hey, in this area, we are lacking crisis centers. In this area, we are lacking homeless encampments. We are lacking homeless hotels or places where they can go. In this, we have too much of the fentanyl at the high school, you know, and you make them accountable because they're all elected. You have to make them accountable for the people that voted them into office.
Right.
And so I love this because it allows me to work with the community in a different way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And see that fentanyl thing is that's out there.
Man, it's nothing to play with. It is not nice at all. And they're lacing, you know, people are doing, you know, the vaping and they're lacing that. They're the little mollies, whatever, they're lacing everything. And they're making all of these flavors, like for the vaping, they're doing like cotton candy, Skittles, all these things that kids would like.
With
yes,
fentanyl?
they're naming them all these things that kids would like. So kids are like, oh, like that's candy. That's, you
with
know,
fentanyl?
Yeah, they're lacing, putting fentanyl in it. But hookah, you know, the hookah bars and things like that, and all the vaping, they're making those into things that are attractive to the young people. Like I said, cotton candy, Skittles, all kinds of flavors that kids would like. So kids think, oh, well, it's not like smoking a cigarette, so it's not that bad. But they're lacing things, and I tell you, the kids, they just had a program on the news a little while ago. Their young people are having access to drugs on Snapchat and on Facebook. They have a code you can put in there, like you're looking for Oxy, but you can purposely misspell it, and then that's how they're trying to keep it low key under the radar. And you can actually work out a deal where our kids can get fentanyl and Oxy, they can get it on social media. And so parents are upset because they want to make social media, you know, the owners more accountable for what comes through, what filters through their sites. But yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
That is crazy.
I think I heard on the news the other day, which I don't really watch the news, but my husband will have it on sometime. And I think I walked through and I heard they had the largest fentanyl bust here just the other day.
3 days ago.
Yeah, you heard that?
Yeah,
the largest fentanyl bust ever. I'm just in awe. I'm just in freaking awe because from what I don't know a lot about it. I just heard bits and pieces. I remember, I guess, an officer stopping a vehicle and coming in he touched the vehicle, and I guess there was some on a vehicle.
Wow.
And he like passed out or something. It was because he touched the vehicle.
Yeah, because you touch it or you inhale it, you're gone. That was another thing we were talking about, having the Narcan, so that if someone was in a crisis, you would be able to save them. But police officers are talking about they don't even have enough of that, just as the, you know, the antidote to help. And if you don't get it within a couple of minutes, you're gone anyway.
But do you understand how our classrooms are going to look? We're going to have armed teachers. We're going to have remote doors. We're going to have defibrillators and ethanol kits and whatever else we need to save the kids. So at what point do we get to teach them?
One of the reasons I didn't go back to teaching, one of the reasons I did not, after COVID, I did not go back to the classroom.
For those reasons, yeah, because you're not teaching anymore.
Yeah.
Now, okay, is everybody in? Okay, pull the gate down, lock the door, take the piece out, sit it on the table. All right, now we're gonna have class. Really?
Yeah. It's so sad. It's totally different than when we were coming up.
No, when we were coming up, the only thing you had to worry about for Thanksgiving, for Halloween, was either having too much candy in your bag, or somebody gave you a special brownie, or somebody put a razor blade in the apple.
Oh yeah.
I remember that. Those were the things we had to worry about. And as parents, you thought, me myself, I thought my parents were just taxing me. You know, like give me your bag, and they take 4 or 5 things. I thought I was getting taxed. You know what I'm saying? Like, Yeah, you took all my Mr. Good boys, really,
Yeah.
really.
Had to make sure they were good. Had to make sure they were really good.
Right.
You know.
Wait, you snuck my Snickers. We gonna roll like that, but that's what parents were doing then.
Yeah.
They would check, but they would check. How do we check our kids' bags for this? That's the scary part.
Yeah. It's a lot of prayer, and it's going to vote, like you said. It's putting the right people in office so that we can make major change. That's exactly what it is.
Well, people should be in office who are going to listen to people like you, who go out, gather the information, and say, "Hey, why don't we have a crisis center here? Why don't we have this here? Why don't we?" And you bring them back the facts of what you see there.
Yes, that's what it was, Sally. In Avondale, 2 men after 1 million pills were found in a house and car in
That's
Avondale.
a lot. And that could have done so much damage. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. 1 million pills.
Largest in history.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah, because that's over here by me. Yeah.
Wow.
And then you ask me, why do I live so far out? That's why. That's why.
My niece said you were being taxed.
Tasha, that's what I'm telling you, Doug. Thank you, girl. Thank you. I love you, darling. That's exactly how I felt. I felt like came up with this big old pillowcase, and I was just looking like Santa Claus. I had a towel wrapped around my neck. I was a superhero. Okay, and I'm carrying my bag, and I get home.
I'm just looking for the Kit Kats. That's all.
Look, you were looking for the Kit Kats. I didn't see a Kit. You know what I got? You remember the bazooka bubble gum?
Oh yes,
the bazooka bubble gum, where you had to chew it for like an hour before it got soft, and then it had the little cartoon thing in there. With Joe Bazooka, and you sitting there trying to read it. Meanwhile, your parents are in the other room. They done got your Goobers bar. Right. They got your Goobers bar. They got all your Twizzlers. Okay.
So now let me I was trying to find it. I post this on, I think I posted on it must have been my Instagram in reference to mental health, having proper representation within in the hospital with mental health. So there was a nurse, a black nurse who said that she was checking in for her shift, and she was saying how important it is to have proper representation, okay, for us. And she was, how the nurses, when they change shift, and she was saying, checking in with the other nurse, a Caucasian woman. So she was saying, you did a psych evaluation or put in for a psych evaluation of this patient. She's like, yeah, every time I walk past, this patient is hitting herself in the head. She's like, she is? And she's like, is she black? And then she's like, yeah. And she's like, she's like, is she doing like this? And she's like, yeah.
She's scratching her head. She's scratching her head. She's not trying to get the plastic.
That weave is itching.
And she's like,
crazy.
She's like, well, when we have weave in our hair, we can't get to our scalp, and that's the way we scratch our head.
No, we can get to our scalp. We just not paying another $250 to have it redone. So where's what we?
But that's a cultural thing. That's exactly what we're talking about in the mental health webinar today. It's a cultural thing. You have to know the culture that you're dealing with.
Right.
Because what you perceive to be as a crazy behavior is in that culture that's acceptable because we know why you're doing it.
Right.
Wow.
I was telling my husband this. I said, and then what would happen is, had the shift change been to another Caucasian nurse,
yes,
that psych person would have come in. And then when they came in and they said, and then I said, this woman would have been then angry after that, which would have added on to that.
That's right.
And now
it would have escalated, and they would have held her for 5150 or something.
Exactly.
Exactly. Real quick.
Worse than that, the psych evaluation comes. They're sitting directly across from her. They're asking her questions. What happens? Her scalp starts itching. No, there's nothing wrong with me. So now they're seeing her do it. Oh yeah, we go.
But while she's angry, also.
Right.
Like,
Come on, y'all. Why? What? No, there's nothing. There's nothing wrong with me.
While she's now cursing them out and hitting her head.
All right. Well, since y'all gonna put me in there, do me a favor, okay? Go over there. No, the table on the other side. The table. I need my spray. All right. Now I'm good.
Or my vitamin E oil.
Right. Yeah.
I need something to soothe my scalp.
But a simple cultural misunderstanding.
Yes.
You know,
Exactly.
I've seen that in the classroom. I've had African American boys who were notorious for getting in trouble all the time. And I would be, when the principal was off campus, I would be the teacher in charge. So I would be the principal, and teacher would come. It was always a Caucasian teacher, send their little kid to me, and they come in there and, trying to look all bad and all mean and stuff. What'd you do? You try and get the information down. And I used to go up to them, if you don't sit your little butt down and act like you got some sense, you can talk to them because you know how to talk to them.
Right.
I said, we are always the one getting suspended. We are always the one getting in trouble. And all you're doing is filling out this same vision or dream that people have for you. If you don't take yourself back to class and act like you got some sense, okay, Miss Denson. Mm-hmm. But if it was, I'm sorry, a white principal there, she would have just taken it as him acting out and not dug a little deeper for the reason why,
Yep.
And then he would have been suspended again.
Well, see, but that's why we need teachers like you. That's why we need people like you. I'm glad that you are doing what you're doing across the board. Thank you very much. I'm going to say it publicly. Thank you. Thank you for me. Thank you for all the kids who have come up behind me, because you remind me of Miss Kelly. My teacher in elementary school. Mm-hmm. Yes, I was that kid. I was that kid that did everything.
Yeah.
And she did like you. She said, there's nothing wrong with him. He's bored to death. Mm-hmm. You are teaching him the 9 times table, and you're asking him questions, and he's looking at you like you don't know. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
Well, he's not giving me answers. He's sitting there playing with his fingers. No, he's not. He was taught how to do his 9 times tables on his fingers. You're asking him questions and he's answering them. Yeah. But he's answering them on he's doing this to get the answers.
Right.
And so she explained it to him. And she said, no, man, I got him. I'll take him. She took me into the auditorium. Mm-hmm. And she said, you'll sit here while you're doing that class. I got this. And she played music.
Yeah.
On the piano, and I copied it. Never read a note of music in my life. Sat there next to her and just played it. And she was like, wait a minute. You know how to play that?
See?
It takes us to find out about us.
Yes.
Us to find out about us. That's where the difference comes in. Find out where the difference is. And I'm not saying this for just Black children. I'm saying this for Hispanic children.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying this for any children.
Know the culture. Know the
culture.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You touched on it perfectly, and I'm sorry, but you touched on it perfectly. You hit a nerve, because I saw me.
Yeah.
I saw me, that kid.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you can't do this, and you can't. And so finally she said, how much is 9 times 5? And he's looking at me, and I was like, and said, show him what 9 times 5 is.
And you could show him. Yeah.
Right. 45.
That's another strategy.
That's just
I taught my kids that's another strategy.
That was before they figured out and acknowledged the fact that there's more than one learning style.
Yes.
But that's what happens. Yeah. We get caught up in that, and we don't have advocates like you.
Yes.
who are sitting there going, okay, wait a
Are
minute.
you making me want to go back to the classroom?
No,
I'm like,
no. I'm sorry. I don't mean, but we don't
Okay.
have that
But here's the thing.
advocacy.
You don't have
Yeah.
to be a teacher. You can be a resource person. You can be an
That's
advocate.
true. That's
You
true.
can be an
Right.
advocate.
You
They
can
need
do
advocates.
exactly what you're doing.
Yeah,
You're
they
an
need advocates.
advocate now.
Yeah.
You
Well,
said
you know,
you go
and that is the reason why I got into education in the first place, because I was not a good student. I was not very smart. And I had teachers who made me feel stupid.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go back to education. I wanted to be a teacher because I didn't want any kid to feel like I felt.
Yeah.
Well,
That's why.
I went back to that same school years later.
Mm-hmm.
Same teacher, walked in, gave her a hug. Oh, everybody doing fine, great. And she said, you know, I got 3 kids that remind me of you and your brothers and your cousin. I said, okay, fine, no problem. Let's take them down. She said, I already got them.
Yeah.
Took them down to the auditorium. They're not listening. They're not doing this. They're not doing this. I said, I got this.
Oh, good.
I put Rapper's Delight on.
Yeah.
Every kid knew every word to every bit of it. Said, now these are the same kids that you're saying aren't paying attention.
They can't remember nothing.
Right, they can't remember, but they got the whole 12-inch memorized.
Yes.
So you have to motivate them
You do.
differently.
You do.
And that's what the difference is. That's where you're at now. You're in a position in your official capacity that you have right now. You are an advocate. You can go and you can sit there just like you're sitting there saying, we don't have enough clinical centers. We don't have enough this. We don't have enough that. Oh,
Right.
by the way, we don't have enough teachers who understand our kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
We don't have enough teachers that understand our kids.
I hear
And
you.
I mean, I'm sorry. Let me get off my
No,
box.
I hear you. No, that's
But that's real.
it is real. That is real.
That is the beginning step to us getting washed out and put into the system.
Mm-hmm.
That is the beginning step. We have now classified you as unteachable.
Yes.
So since you are unteachable, we are now going to put that on your record.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, we going down this slippery slope that we didn't even know we were on.
Yeah. Because
No.
the kid believes that they're unteachable. They believe that they're
Absolutely.
dumb.
Absolutely.
My first job was at Chase Middle School in Topeka, Kansas, and it was alternative education, and it was 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, I believe. And I only had about a handful of boys, and they came in there thinking that they were mentally retarded.
Yeah.
They said they were doing. They said, I can't do that. I was trying to teach them because I had someone from math, someone from English. They just threw me anybody they didn't want in their classroom for that period. They threw them into the new teacher's
The
classroom.
remedial class.
Yes, the remedial class. And they're like, and they said, I can't do that. That's why I'm in special education. I said, this isn't special education. And they're like, it's not. They thought that they were special needs, and so they couldn't do regular education work.
Yeah.
I said, oh, no, yes, you can. You can do it.
Yeah.
If you want to play basketball, you need to get through this class. If you want to, that kind of thing.
Right.
But they thought that they couldn't do it. I guess they had been told, So it's, you're right. I can continue to advocate.
Yes, you
No,
can.
Yeah.
you really can.
Yeah.
I see the love in you.
Absolutely.
And-
You're not
yeah.
done. You're not done.
Yeah, you ain't no way.
You're not
I
done.
see the love in you,
Mhm.
and I see
You're
that
not
you
done.
are sitting there going, "Am I doing enough?"
Yeah.
In each sentence you said, I'm sitting there going, "She not sure if she not sure if she done enough.
Uh-uh.
She not sure." You the type you like my aunt. You go clean up the whole house, and then sit there with the rag in your lap while you're sitting in the kitchen chair, and then get up and walk around the house.
To see what else
Auntie,
is dirty.
right? Auntie, what are you doing? I'm making sure everything clean. It ain't gonna get no cleaner. That was a beach towel when you started. Now it's a handy wipe. It ain't gonna get. Come on. That's real. That's real. So please,
Well,
thank you. Thank you.
I'll tell you what I like to say to people a lot, and I haven't said in a long time, have I, Chris? I haven't said that word in a long time.
Here
know-
come. Here come.
You welcome.
Mhm.
You welcome.
You welcome.
You welcome.
I do
Yeah.
appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate this time more than you know. Yeah. More
We
than you know.
appreciate
It was a
it.
true exchange,
Yes,
It was
yes,
actually
Yeah.
great.
and I think as and I'm gonna say it, as empowered women,
Mm-hmm.
um, sometimes, more often than not, you need to hear that another male supports you in your drive, other than your husband and the kids. Nothing against your husband. Don't send him to my house. Nothing like that. Yeah, got me locking doors. You know what I'm saying? Let me go over here and hurt this boy. I got to be back in the pulpit by Sunday. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that you need to hear a genuine affirmation from one of us.
Yeah, yeah.
Us. Not as a, yeah, how you doing? Fine. No, as one of us who is willing to stand next to you and say, I applaud you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Yeah,
And that's real.
yeah. Thank you.
And
Yeah.
you heard it from your student too, because when he dropped that tear, look, let me tell you
Yeah,
something. That was
I
a
know.
student. That was a student right
You know,
there.
y'all could have just cut that part out. Okay, don't play. Don't play. Y'all
No,
could cut. Y'all could cut that part out.
no,
Y'all didn't have to.
we for real here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And I told you we're relaxed and we're about whatever flows and what happens happens,
yes,
and it's we have our bullet points, but it's about where it takes us. You know what I'm saying? And
yes, yes.
that's kind of what we go with.
Yeah, but it
And
didn't have to take me all the way back to the Bronx. It did. It did. It did. It did.
That's the way it went. That's the way it
Yeah.
went.
exactly, and that's
Yeah.
the way we
So
go with
Yeah.
it.
somebody else needed that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we appreciate it, and I'm with it, and I loved it. And that's the part that I love about who my co-host is. And I'll express this to you, and other people have heard it. He was nervous when I was doing rebranding, and when we decided to do go with empowering women, and he was like, but I'm a man. And I said, and and he's always been respectful. We
Yeah.
don't, and when people hear empowering women, a lot of these shows, they go to male bashing when they talk about
Yes,
empowering
yes,
women,
yes.
and
And
that's
that's
something
not,
that we don't do that here.
yeah, good, good.
We can talk about the mistakes that men make. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like we talk about the mistakes
Oh,
women
now their mistakes. Last week it was like, do you know what you did?
make.
Now that's a mistake. Okay. Okay. Okay.
and and I haven't muted you in a while, Chris. No, my finger is right here on the button, sir. And one of the many things that I love about Chris is that he will definitely speak to the male point of view when, you know what, brothers, we do that,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we need to stop that. And this
yeah.
is how we get better, because
Mm-hmm.
as women, we can talk about, like I said, what brothers may have done to us and whatever. However, now we need to talk about how do we make it better.
Right, right.
How do we bring them along up with us to make this better? Because otherwise, what are we doing? What
Yes.
are we doing? And so we can throw a rock and hit as many of those shows male bashing. That's not what we do here. And so as I
No.
told Chris, like, ain't nobody ever gonna make me say goodbye to you with my show. That's
Aww.
not gonna happen. That's not gonna
It's about
happen.
empowering each other. So
Exactly.
it's empowered, and it happens to be women in here, but doesn't mean that we can't empower men as well.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
so with
That
moment of
sounds like my
fame,
segue. That's not. No, no. I say this. I say this every. Can I say it, Mon?
yes.
Okay. I say this every show. Every show. Uh, my wife and I have been together for 35, 36 years.
That's beautiful.
And she empowers me each and every day. Each and every day. Thank you, Ellen,
Good woman.
again for empowering me. It's empowerment goes two ways,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes, more often than not, it's been. Right now, she's in a rehab facility,
Okay.
but again, she broke her ankle. But more often than not, it was her empowering me. And so now, with her being laid up, it's my chance to give it back.
Oh.
And
So you literally, you're waiting on her hand and foot?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not the foot that's hurt. No, I leave. Look, that's what. Look, you and that grungy foot that they got in that cast, y'all can have that. Okay. I'll come over tomorrow with some safety glasses and help cut your toenails. But other than that, but really, she held it down for years.
Yeah.
While I was out doing what I was doing, film wise, production wise, things like that. So when I hear this, what made this empowerment series easier for me to do is my sisters, including this nut bucket over here, and my wife, who again has been there. So I thank you.
Email, not F-mail.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Did I miss something? I'm gonna have to see it in the replay.
It was my email came across the screen, but it wasn't quite correct. There we go. But I have to say before we go that my husband did the same thing, Chris. He asked me to hold it down. When we got married, we'd both been married before. I came with 2 kids. He came with 2 kids. We adopted my great nephew, so we raised 5. But he said, if you hold it down, you teach, you work, you have the benefits and all of that, you hold it down for 10 years, then afterwards you can do whatever you want. And so right now what I'm doing is whatever I want. So I'm on a few boards. I was in politics. I was the trustee on the college board, but I get to explore and find my why and chase my passion and all of that, because now he's holding it down. So I totally agree with you. Yeah. It takes 2, and it's empowering each other and working together, and that's what we're doing.
Well, I don't know if you feel empowered, but you definitely empowered me. So I thank you for
that.
We appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And we do want to make sure that people know that every quarter that Empowered Magazine highlights the accomplishments of women just like yourself, just like Lorrie. And then we want to make sure that if you guys know anyone out there just like Lorrie, that you can nominate them. You can go to their website and nominate someone. And that website is running across the bottom there, www.empoweredmagazine.com, and nominate someone that's just like Lorrie Denson and the other women that you've seen every week here on the show. And then you can catch the replay of this show on this Monday that's coming up, which is that the 3rd?
Is it the 2nd? Is it
the 2nd? I think it's the 3rd.
Is it the 3rd? Okay.
No, the 2nd. It's the 2nd.
It is the 3rd. You're right. It's the 3rd.
It's the 3rd. You can catch the
replay.
replay.
Went fast. Yeah.
I know. It's the 2nd. Yes.
It's the 3rd.
The 3rd. And you can catch the replay, and then it will always be there on YouTube, Facebook, and all those other places. You can go back and watch it and share it. This was an amazing show. Oh, so much good information, you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of our past guests who come back. Please come back and watch some of our next guests that come in the future.
I will. Now that I know of you.
Yes, most definitely. Please subscribe so you can get the notifications.
I did.
Thank you to all of your guests who came. I hope you guys come.
Thank you, family. I love you.
Oh, they came. Oh, they came. Trust me. They came. They came. They look like romper room up in here. Everybody checking in. Like, wow.
Thank you to everyone that came, all of the family and friends that came. You guys are now family and friends of Going Down the Mic.
That's right. That's right.
We appreciate you guys. We have great discussions like this every time. We try and share great quality information and have discussions. So you guys come back. We hope you do.
How often do you do this? Every week?
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. Okay.
Every Wednesday.
Okay.
Absolutely. They can go back and watch some of our old shows. Don't go back too far. You may get no. Go back and enjoy as many of them as you want to. But every Wednesday we're live here. Okay. The replays are on Monday. So definitely come back and enjoy them. You can contact me at any time. My phone number is all over social media.
Thank you, niece. I love you. That's my oldest niece, Michelle.
Hey, Shell.
Oh, Michelle Sterling. Hi.
And that's Amika. She's one of my spiritual daughters. Yes.
Oh. We hope
look at
all
that.
of you guys. Look at
Man,
that.
all of them. Okay.
We
That's
hope all of
amazing.
you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Are there any excuse me, are there any parting words or anything else that you would like to share with the people before you leave?
Wow. I just want to thank you both for this opportunity. I'm very thankful to God, of course, because I would not even be doing any of this if it was not for Him. Um, I'm just at a time in my life that I want to do everything that I can to help, and I believe that everything that I've gone through is to help someone else. And so I don't mind. That's why when you said, "Is there anything you don't want to talk about?" I don't mind talking about my mistakes, because if it can keep you from making that same mistake, I will share what I did. So, I just thank you for allowing me to be who I am, to be honest, and just to have a good time talking about helping one another. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And
Thank
you
you.
have an amazing, amazing evening.
Thank you. I will.
Thank
Wait a
you.
minute. You
All
forgot
right.
your question.
I forgot my question.
You
Do you
forgot
feel
your question.
do you feel empowered?
Oh, yes, I feel empowered.
Do
Oh,
you feel like
yes,
do you feel like you've empowered others?
I do. And I didn't feel that way before, but talking to you both, you brought that out and you made me understand how I'm doing that. So thank you.
Good. Thank
There
you so
you
much.
go.
You have a great night.
All right,
Good
you
night.
as well.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye
good
bye.
Bye-bye.
night. Bye-bye.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. That was another great one. Another great one.
I think we had. I think we have fun. I think that her story, that her magazine story, does not even begin to tell
Mm-mm.
her
No,
whole story.
no,
No,
no. Did
no,
not.
no,
No, didn't do it justice.
not at all.
No, not do it
No,
justice.
no, no. Because when it's like, wait a minute, is this the same person that's in the magazine? But I'm glad that we got to speak to her, and she was doing
Yes,
it.
come on back in the future, honey. Absolutely, for sure, for sure. Come on back.
Oh, Shell talking about coming back. Yeah, come on
Yeah,
back. It'll be off the chain.
yeah. We have some amazing guests coming back in the future too. Definitely, we appreciate everybody that comes through.
We do.
Absolutely.
We do.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Yes, when we were talking about it.
No, that's because it's amazing when we get the bios on people. We get the bios on people, and um, we work from that.
Yeah.
And then when we actually sit down and speak with them, we find out that it's like an onion. It's like, oh, y'all just gave us the little skin on the outside. Now we starting to talk to them and we getting the flavor portion. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, she touched something because, you know, I just remembered when she said that, it was like, woo, I'm that kid.
I
I'm
was
that
like,
kid.
wait, I said, oh.
Yeah, because it's like, that's not something I do on a regular. She because it's when you start to talk about kids and how they're marginalized, and to have somebody who will come in and sees you and doesn't see what's on the outside, but they
Right.
see what's on the inside. Like, wait a minute, maybe this person is doing wrong, but maybe there's something else going on that y'all don't know about.
Yeah.
Let's try to feel this out. And it happens more often than not because we don't, and we as a people, as a group of human beings, do not have cultural exchanges. We
Oh, by
don't
all means, no.
no, no,
No.
we
No.
don't try to figure out the other person. Well, what's doing this? What's doing that? What's doing the other? Um,
Mhm.
we were at a seminar, and there were some junior high school kids, and some of them were of a different faith,
Yes.
and we were running late. The sun was going down, and they pulled out their prayer mats
Mm-hmm.
and started praying, and people were looking at them like had lost their minds. Said, nope. What we are going to do is we are going to, because they had asked, So it's like, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead before you get the mask down. Do we have enough time? And I gave them space in another room, another area to do just that. Because we're not going to infringe on what your beliefs are. But everybody else was looking like, well, wait a minute, how come, where, when, why? No. You have to learn to respect before you can.
Is that something in your thing that I'm hearing?
What's that?
Like
what are you hearing? Like computer reset audio. You hear it now?
No.
There you go. When you live in space camp, you can do that.
Ain't that a trip? Go ahead.
But yeah, you have to you have to look at different things that people are doing and respect them. Respect them. Learn about the children you're teaching.
Well, you would think that would be an automatic, but it really is not. It's almost like it's very cookie cutter a lot of times, very cookie cutter. And then also people, they don't have the time, they don't have the patience, they don't have the resources, and then they're overworked. There are too many students within the classroom. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous what teachers have to put up with nowadays. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay. And then also, I don't think people understand what a teacher, what the school's first priority is. It isn't to educate, it's safety and the safety and protection of a child. And nowadays, good God, that is by far something that has been put to the forefront. You know what I'm saying? Even more than ever within the school system.
Yeah, because what you have is you have all and all of these wild and crazy situations happening, and we have not. We have too many issues where we're trying to teach the children on one hand and protect them on the other hand, and then yes, teaching them has become secondary because now teachers are going to school. Going to classes, learn how to shoot. They're learning how to carry weapons. They're learning how to lock the magic lock on the door. All kinds of stuff.
Well, and then counseling on top of that. And then students are coming to school. It used to be, well, maybe your biggest concern was that child hasn't eaten. So we need to get to make sure
we need to get them some breakfast. Right.
Exactly. Right. That was maybe a biggest concern.
Now, yeah, that's when the Fresh Start program came from.
Right. And then the next thing was, they may have seen abuse at home. Now it's beyond that. They may have gotten their hands on drugs, because I don't know if you heard on the news here recently that now one of the other concerns is just like how I think Lorrie was talking about where with fentanyl, where you got the Skittles and different things. Well, now with marijuana, now on the U.S. scale, because of, with it being legalized in so many states now, edibles are being taken on a large scale by so many little children. They're getting into, the gummies and all of the little edibles that look like candies, so attractive to candies, that on a large scale that these little kids are taking their parents' edibles that aren't being put up well. So now that's a big thing. So now you're dealing with that on top of everything now. And then all of this, because everybody has a cell phone, all of the pornography, that's so accessible now, where it used to be with computers at school. Okay, we got that on lock, but now we got cell phones. Now everybody got a cell phone. Now you got to deal with all the pornography on the cell phone. Now I have to go and make sure you're not watching that on your cell phone.
Right. It's become necessary for schools to, in essence, become mini police states, if you will, because now the teachers have got to go in, all but pat you down, look in your bag. I saw an ad end of last year, end of the last school term, that was advertising for bulletproof backpacks. Now, never mind how many books we can get in it, but it's a bulletproof backpack. You didn't tell me anything about what the dimensions of it were. The only thing you were telling me about is the ultra high ballistic material it was made out of, and that it could be worn on your back, and this that. So basically, you can't put nothing in it, but it's a backpack.
Well, now let's back up on that also, because now we're going to deal with all the students that are so far behind in their education because of being at home with COVID and the pressure that's on the school, on the teachers, because now the school systems have to recoup a lot of money and push testing that the students can't pass anyway, but the schools need to do the testing because the district needs to be paid for that testing. All the bureaucracy behind all of that stuff. Let's just not even get started on that.
No, but we need to get started on it because your kids are sitting up there in COVID, and where are they sitting? They're sitting at home. All right, they're supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be sitting in the classroom in front of the computer doing their schoolwork. No, they're not. They're sitting at home on all kinds of social media. They're sitting at home on all kinds of sites they shouldn't be on.
Well, look now, come on now. No, there's so many different scenarios with that because I've been out and about with parents who have 3 children, 5 children, whatever it is. Okay, and they've been trying. Okay, I've been there. I remember being at Tire Barn, and this woman had 4 children, and all of them had their iPads, and this woman was trying her damnedest to try and make sure her kids were doing what they were supposed to do, and it was just a bit much because the teacher herself couldn't even keep control of it because she had students in class, and then she had the ones on the iPads, and I was like, Lord Jesus, help. Somebody
Okay.
help somebody because this is mad chaos. And you remember my assistant that I used to have, Sharon, and she was a
Yeah.
music teacher, and she herself, it was madness because she had some students that were in, and she teach kindergarten. Some were in class, and some were on the iPad. I said, "How are kindergartners doing virtual? Please, please help me understand.
Because they
Please
got
help me
that special
understand."
cover on their iPad that they can take into the sandbox and do whatever they want to do with it.
Please,
Okay.
but half of them or a portion of them are virtual, and a portion of them are in class. And how are you doing that, please?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it is crazy. And that's what I love about our guest tonight.
when Arizona schools are already horribly behind,
Mhm. But
horribly.
now here's a question for you because what we did tonight, what Lori did tonight was open the eyes. Because now the question I'm gonna always have, or at least have for the foreseeable future, is who is her counterpart here? And what are we doing?
Who is her counterpart where?
Here in Arizona. Why don't is there such a person that's doing that here? And if so, why don't we know about it?
Within the school system?
Yes.
Oh,
Because because it well not only in the school system, I'm talking about in terms of healthcare and everything else she mentioned.
actually, I had looked up. Let's see. For you mean the
Because we
COVID
were
thing?
yeah, well, see what we had, remember, we started the conversation
Hmm.
talking about like doing all of the legwork to, hey, we don't have enough services here, we don't have enough services there, and bringing that information back to the powers that be. So that's my question: who is doing that on this side of town?
Geez, it's like Illinois. That's something that we would have to probably work with her to see about.
Did you see Sally put up bulletproof backpacks?
I did.
Said just for y'all who thinks Chris is making stuff up. Uh huh. Yeah. Okay.
I did. I did. I did. Let's see. We will have to get with Lori to see if there
Mhm.
are any counterparts here.
Okay. Yeah.
But we
I,
know, unfortunately, as far as with the school system, Lord have mercy. It makes my butt ache with Arizona, unfortunately. But anything is possible. Anything is possible, especially when you're looking at with elections getting ready to happen and whatnot. Anything is possible if we put it out there to them.
If we vote the
Yeah.
right way, if we vote, I'm not going to say vote the right way, go the left way or the middle. I'm saying exercise your right to vote. Because everything here that we talked about today can be changed, fixed, whatever, but it can't be done if you don't vote.
Sitting at home.
Eating a box of cereal.
These are facts. Well, guys, look, this has been an amazing show. Another amazing show. Very proud of everyone. I'm happy that you guys came out. Love it. Want to see you guys back next week. Share this. Let's see what was it that Sally put up this time. Public Health, Arizona Education News, Arizona Students Health Promotion Ambassador.
I'm telling you.
Support reentry.
Sally, be on it. Okay, be on it.
I cannot fight the funk with her. Here it is. We appreciate you guys being here with us. We'll be back for another live episode next week. I don't have the name of our guest for next week. I do not have that. Just look for the flyer. It'll be another honoree from Empowered Magazine. We're
going to have a secret guest.
It will not be a secret for long. Just check out our page, check out our Instagram page. Everything is under Going Down on the Mic. Our Twitter, all of our social media pages are under the same thing, Going Down on the Mic. And you'll find out who our guest is for next week. That will be there. Yes, good night, hugs, love to everyone. We're going to take you out like we bring you in with our guy.
Anthony Frazier. Frazier. Ladies and gentlemen, what you just saw was a senior moment.
No.
Do not adjust your dial. Okay.
No, my husband started calling me, and I saw Anthony. His name is Anthony. I saw that pop up on my phone, so I was like, and it made me freeze. So yes, we're going to take you out. I'm going to take you out with Anthony Frazier. The same way we brought you in. We do appreciate you guys coming in with us. And we will see you next week. It has been great, Chris, as usual.
Definitely.
Love you.
Love you.
Until then, we're out of here. Peace.
Can we stop the arguing? Can we take a moment where we can calm down? It's just so exhausting. Swinging in the wind, going round and round. I know that we won't say sorry. You beg and I plead, but my heart can't beat until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations. I know that we won't say sorry until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations, baby. I see me addressing you. Let me put the smile right onto your face, tracing every inch of you. Using my tongue to find your happy place. I know that we can't play naughty. You beg and I plead, and you pull my heartstrings until I feel the vibrations. I wanna give you vibrations. Until I feel the vibration.